What's going on, guys? So I just ended stream just a little bit ago, and these guys went ahead and uploaded a video. Their second in a weekly series where they discuss, what they're working on. Typically, it is this guy Ben Rodrian and this guy CEO Ian Prue, but this week they're joined along with the co-founder Nick as well. So. It's titled Fixing the Game. I know when they tweeted it out, they talked about ranked changes, challenges, and other issues that they are, aware of and working on. So we're going to go ahead and do a live react and see what they have to say, see what they have to update us on.
Hello and welcome back to Splitgate Weekly. This is our short form video updates that our team provides every week. I'm looking forward to doing more in the future, but this week it is me. I'm Ben. I'm our community manager at 1047, and I'm joined by both of our illustrious co-founders here. I have our CEO Ian and CTO Nick here. How's it going, guys?
It's going good. We're
Going
both
good.
very illustrious.
I would say so. Speaking of illustrious, what could be more illustrious than fireworks? Did you guys do anything fun for the 4th of July this weekend?
A little bit. I mean, I was mostly at my desk working, but I did touch grass. I did step outside. I'm up in Tahoe, and there's always a great fireworks show. So I kind of stepped outside for about 20 minutes, looked at the show, and then came back in and played some Splitgate. So
I am glad to hear you actually stepped outside and didn't just see it reflecting off of your monitor as you,
Yep.
were huddling in the dark. So, Nick, how about you?
There's fireworks in Splitgate. He was watching the fireworks in the game.
I did that too.
Yeah, the 4th of July is actually my dad's birthday, so I got to spend some time with him. We ate some dinner, ate some cake, and then late at night I was grinding ranked with my brother and was raging very hard, but was having fun.
That's like the secret to ranked. If there's not a little bit of rage, it just means you don't care enough. That just shows the true passion coming out. So I think that's just the best way to do it.
I think we've all raged a little bit.
Speaking of ranked, we just
I got
had
a little
our
bit upset
chapter
earlier
rollover
while I was
patch
playing.
last week. So we moved from season 1, chapter 1, season 1, chapter 2 has arrived. The big things within that definitely were ranked, and then also weapon mastery camos arriving. I think we're really happy.
I love the camo grind. There's some people that say it's not long enough, but I think it is, because I mean your goal is to get the max, and it promotes you actually like playing and getting multiple weapons to gold before you can unlock the last one. So you actually have to grind on every weapon in the game if you want to get that max skin. You can't just grind one out all the way and be done with it. You actually have to do more. You actually have to grind out, 6 weapons. You have to grind out pretty much every weapon that a faction has. I think it's a really good system that they have in place.
With a lot of elements of rank, but there's definitely still things that we're seeing you guys give feedback on that we know need to be improved. So Ian, do you want to just touch on a little bit of like what our priorities are for ranked specifically?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I think ranked is not where we want it to be totally candid. Not to make excuses, but we've definitely been struggling to kind of balance like fixing outstanding bugs from the beta while also delivering on the promises that we've made of like, here are the features. So I think, and we'll talk about this a bit later, but we are very focused for the next couple of weeks on fixing the bugs, stabilizing things, getting the game in a great state.
Yeah, that is true. The game has had kind of a lot of issues since beta, so they kind of a lot of things that they're working on top of ranked. But I think he was going to probably talk about is the matchmaking. I'm interested to see what he says, because I know that's a big issue that a lot of people are having right now, is that they're in bronze but getting paired against like top 100 players, which like it seems like it is a perceived rank as opposed to actual rank, which makes it, in a lot of people's opinions, makes it feel a lot like pubs and not real ranked.
I think ranked, kind of the biggest issues I've seen, some of which have been resolved. So one of the biggest complaints was we had some random issues with EU servers. That's been fixed. That was causing just high latency. We had a bug where the matchmaker was placing people on the wrong region. Not everyone, but like more often than it should, let's say.
Okay, I didn't know about that.
That has been largely addressed. Obviously, if you wait a very long time, eventually the matchmaker does expand ping over time. But you should really rarely, if ever, be getting games on, if you're in US West, like you shouldn't be getting EU games anytime soon. So that's been fixed. Kind of the next couple ones that we're focused on. One is we do have a bug that we're working on actively like today, and have been, which is The way the ranked matchmaking works, it's not supposed to put a top 100 player against a bronze.
Okay, that's good to know. So that's not supposed to be happening. Okay, because the working theory that was that it was a perceived rank system. So it's good to know that that's not the way it's supposed to work. It's not a perceived rank system. It's not supposed to work that way at all.
Obviously. And the reason that's been happening is the matchmaker does take into account both your rank and your skill. And right now, the rank part is not working properly. And so we're getting games where, if people are at similar skill levels, you could end up with a bronze player just because he's very good ending up in the same lobby. That's not what we want. So we're working on that. That should be coming out soon. But basically, our intention is based on ranked, you should only be able to play.
So, I mean, it very well could have been an intentional system, but I'm going to choose to believe him and say that that there is an MMR system that has kind of taken priority over the typical matchmaking system that you would be used to seeing, is what seems like is happening. So that's good, but they're aware of it. They know that the community wants it changed, and they are working on a way to fix it. So that's good, at least.
Someone within a certain number of ranks, right? So maybe a platinum can play a champion, but a bronze certainly can't, right? So that's the top priority. And then I think the other thing is just balance.
Personally, bronze, silver, and gold I think should all be able to play together. Bronze, silver, and gold, and then platinum, diamond, pro-helium should be able to play together. And then champions and top 100 should be able to play together. And some crossover too, you know what I mean? So like diamond can play with champion as well. But I think generally that's a pretty fair range, I think. Bronze, silver, and gold can count as one. Just kind of split it up in threes. In my opinion, I think that would work.
Balancing, right? And it's been tricky because all of the balancing feedback and data has been based on the last month of quick play. And what we've seen in quick play is Sabrask is the least picked. It's the least powerful.
Yep.
All of a sudden, rank is on the line, and the sweats come out, and you start
Elo's
to
on
see
the
the
line,
real meta.
and you get
And
quad
that's quite a
Sabrask
bit different
shielding
than it
off
was a week ago, right? And so what we've
Yeah, and I always kind of knew that was going to happen. I always felt like Sabrask was the strongest class, and that it just wasn't very fun for the casual player in Arena, and that's why you didn't really get to see it played a lot. But then once rank came out, people start taking it seriously. When it's not rank, it's kind of like, we're just going to have fun. We're going to run around. We're going to play arrows. We're going to play Meridian. We're going to play whatever. It doesn't matter. But as soon as there's rank, it's different, It works different, you know what I mean? So you really start to strategize. And I think players knew that Sabrask was strong before rank dropped. And so once rank dropped, it was over. It was over. I think I tweeted out earlier, he removes Sabrask shield from the game. Kind of jokingly, but also like it's so frustrating to have to play against, They definitely need to make some changes to it.
Seen and some of the changes we're working on right now that we're making. The Sabrask SMG is too powerful, so we're nerfing it.
I'm happy. I'm glad. The Rattler is extremely strong. I'm also concerned because, in my opinion, the way that the Rattler works is very hard to balance. If you nerf it, you risk it being extremely weak and not used at all. If you leave it as is, same issue. It's insanely strong. And obviously, if you give it a buff, it's even stronger. So it's kind of one of those that's like, I feel like it's really tricky. So I'd be interested to see what they change and how it works. But the Rattler is absolutely really strong. So I'm glad to see that they are seeing that as well, that the Rattler is very strong. And the Phasma, the change to the Phasma did not really help anything. It didn't really change anything at all. The thing still shreds. The thing still does a lot of damage. And I think it just needs damage to be toned down a little bit. Just a little. I think it just does a little bit too much damage. Or either nerf the Phasma or buff the Sprinter so that the Sprinter can feel better, and I feel like I have more of a fair advantage in a gunfight against the Phasma.
The Sabrask shotgun should not be able to one-shot somebody, so it should two-tap, but not one-shot someone in the head, so we're doing that. I think the wall,
That's
we
fine.
reworked the wall. We talked about that last week. We're figuring out exactly how we want to nerf it. I think there's a couple ways we can go about it, but some sort of nerf is coming.
So that,
And
100%.
I think those are the main things that
100%
we're
need to
getting all
fix
sorts
that
of
wall.
feedback. So I think those are the main things that we're like, yeah, these are for sure good changes. And then, you do one thing at a time and then you see what happens. You iterate, you listen. But I'd just say, we hear you guys. Keep the feedback coming. And please, the more specific and constructive you can be, the better. Like just complaining, like obviously we get it. Like and that's valid too. But like specificity is what's going to help make ranked better. Saying ranked sucks, it's like, okay, well, what do we do with that information, right? So
That's fair as well. I think if you're going to criticize the game, it should be constructive. Tell them what to do better, just in general. And that's like a lot of what I've seen is just like, oh, it sucks, it sucks, it sucks, it sucks. This is bad. This is terrible. This is awful. I'm gonna give a little bit of constructive criticism right now. They haven't talked about it, which tells me that they're not considering it, which is fine. But me personally, I think there should be a faction cap. I know that might not be popular, but I think that might be the only solution to the Sabrask shield is to cap it at 2. No more than 2 Sabrask. No more than 2 of any one faction. Which I know is like not how you want to play the game, but I feel like we're kind of in this, like, I'm going to compare it to Overwatch GOATS meta. I feel like we're kind of in this GOATS meta era right now, where like the Sabrask shield is just super strong and teams are just running 3 or 4 Sabrask and just completely shielding off points and making it incredibly challenging to get through them and capture the point in ranked play. And so I think the response has to be to cap the amount of factions you can have to 2. So no more than 2 Sabrask, no more than 2 Meridian, no more than 2. I think that is, I'm interested to see what they come up with and see if it works, but I feel like that might just have to be the play is capping factions, honestly.
yeah,
I think just for ranked 2, as far as balance goes, just so I mentioned them so nobody in the comments is getting worried. I know we're still looking as well at radar, assault rifles, compared to some other kinds of weapons. Are they too strong versus carbine or
of
burst?
course.
Like there's, probably a laundry list of things that, we could mention here as things we're looking
we're
closely at,
learning
so
a
just
lot
don't worry,
very
there's-
quickly is what
Yeah.
I'll say.
And that happens when you release
outside
ranked
of just ranked
in general.
specifically, something else that obviously came in that last
Yeah, anytime you release ranked, you learn very fast what the meta is shaping up to be. And so I think that the upcoming patch notes are going to be a lot bigger for Arena because they're able to see how the top players and how the bottom players are using the weapons, and they're able to see what is really strong and what is really weak. So, which is something I saw a lot of people complain about, was that the patch notes seem to be very extensive on the BR, and that's mainly because there's a lot more issues with the BR than there is with Arena, but also like there isn't really a meta in quick play. Quick play, you just kind of play the game the way you want to play it. But in ranked, there is a meta that forms, and so they're able to learn really quickly what the top players are using and what's strong, what's working against it, what's not working against it, and so they're able to balance from there. So it's good to see that they're watching and paying attention, and they're acting, as quickly as they can to get a fix for it. So that's definitely that's definitely positive.
update was our mastery challenges, and so far those have been pretty well received. We're really happy with how those are being looked at and also how they're functioning in game, but definitely something that we see plenty of feedback on and still people bringing up pretty often are the daily and weekly challenges, which have still had some
This is a big issue.
bumps
I've
in the
been
road
having
there.
issues with these
Nick, do you want to just mention
since the
what
beta.
we're looking at for that and just where
Since
we
the beta.
are looking at for other bugs as well, just kind of other priorities outside of ranked specifically?
Sure.
So the challenges has been an issue since the beta. It's not the reason that they shut down the servers, but it was the reason that players were given like 2,000 tickets towards the end of the beta because the challenges just stopped working, and then they were working fine after they launched, and then they released a patch, and then suddenly they weren't working again, and then they were working again, and then they released a patch and they weren't working again. So we're kind of at this point of like they are, and then they fix it, and then they fix other stuff, and then they break again. So this has been a constant struggle for them. So I'm really hoping that they're able to find a more permanent fix, because it has been a constant struggle for them. It's been a constant struggle for the players as well. They're loading in and not being able to complete your daily challenges can definitely be annoying. For me at this point, it's like not as frustrating because I have completed the Chapter 2 Battle Pass. But it is still kind of annoying to not be able to progress my Fubar challenge or my shotgun challenge that I have, or not shotgun, my Sabrask challenge that I have for the weeklies. So
Yeah, I mean, challenges, I can go on and on. There's nobody more frustrated with challenge bugs than me and our backend team.
I believe it.
But yeah, our main priority right now is what we're going to do is basically rewrite the daily and weekly challenges system. The mastery challenges that we put out are actually on our new challenges system. And as far as I can tell,
So they're gonna completely rewrite the code
there
for
are
it.
no bugs that I've read about. So
They're gonna so their solution is just to rewrite the entire code for the challenges, essentially. So we don't know how long that's gonna take, but hopefully they're able to get it within a couple weeks.
Yeah, so we're feeling confident. I mean, we're gonna spend the next few weeks kind of fixing that up, ending, because we've just been band-aiding dailies and weeklies for a while, just trying to get it good, and no amount of band-aids is helping. Like, it's just you fix one problem, another one pops up. So we're
That's
just
how
gonna
these
rewrite
usually
it,
work. Yeah.
and yeah, we're feeling confident that it will be a lot better, and once we put this out.
Yeah, and I'll touch on that too. But I think what people maybe don't understand is like the reason that like why the heck are challenges still not working. Obviously the beta
Yes.
did not go as smoothly as we had hoped, right? So we had tight timelines. We tried to rush this challenge system to get it in time for beta. It had a lot of issues. Actually, the challenges were the reason that we had server outages, believe it or not. Like that is the fundamental problem that
Oh, the challenges were the reason for the beta shutdown. That's right. Although I mean, the time crunch is kind of you guys. I'm gonna be honest, but I mean, I get it though. You were on a time crunch, but that's kind of on you guys. I mean, that doesn't. I mean, saying that is nice because you're being honest, but it doesn't do a good look for people that have been saying that the game was rushed. I'm gonna be honest here. Yeah, it doesn't look good for people saying that the game was rushed. When you say that it was on a time crunch. It really feels like you were kind of rushing the game to be done. But at the same time, though, they're being very open and transparent, and they're communicating that. So, hey, props to these guys for that at least.
brought down everything. So that was step one, was like put out the fires so it doesn't bring down the whole system. But that whole challenges system in general has just been a mess because we've had to rush it. And now we've been in this state of like, well, promised the community we're going to put out ranked and mastery challenges and do all these things, and we're trying to put out content and updates, but also we got to go back and fix this thing. And so we've been in this kind of perpetual state of like, okay, well, there's one bug with challenges, just band-aid it, we'll fix the whole system later. Finally, we are taking a step back and we are fixing the system.
It's not usually a good process to have. I can understand where they're coming from, but I mean, in my opinion, just off of what they're saying right now, I feel like they wanted to have a September launch for the game. They wanted to have the beta open in May, maybe, but they wanted to have a September launch. But then they kind of ran into the issue like, oh, Call of Duty's gonna launch in September. We can't directly compete with it, and so they decided to launch at Summer Game Fest instead. I'm not so sure that was a good plan. I think they probably should have just stayed the course. But that's my theory on what happened, is that they changed it because the beta was it was 2 weeks. That's not a beta. The beta was 2 weeks. That's that's, I don't know.
Right. So that is our top priority. Like the next 2-week sprint, we work in 2-week sprints, is fix the game. Like stop with the features, stop with the content. Like none of that matters if we don't have a solid foundation. So that is our top priority right now, is just go back.
That's good.
Clean up tech debt, fix the bugs, get this thing in a very good state where it just works the way it's supposed to. It's fun.
That's good.
You can have a good time.
Yeah. I mean, take it, I mean, I'm okay with, having some delayed content as long as, they're going back into it and, fixing the core features, fixing the core part of the game that a lot of people are complaining about right now. I'll take it. It's a W, that means we'll have to, deal with some broken challenges for the next couple of weeks, and that's fine. We'll have to deal with some broken challenges for the next couple of weeks, but they're gonna fix it, right? They're working through it, getting it done, and they're not rushing it. I wouldn't say. It seems like they're really gonna, take their make sure that it's done right.
Time.
Yeah, I think that's something that is really just a very clear through line from basically all the conversations I'm seeing within our team right now, is just that we are really, really paying as close of attention as we can to the feedback that we're seeing from you guys, and pretty universally, that's pretty much the top thing consistently being said is, hey, I like what's here. I love the core of it. Maybe there's individual pieces I would change if I could, but overall, the thing I really just want the most is that improved, it's fixed, it's polished more. So we hear you for sure. I think Nick said it too. Like, this is something we all care about a ton, and it really is frustrating for us to see players getting into these positions where they can't just sit down and play the game. Something's in the way. It's like, this thing stuck in the back of my mind, can't escape the frustration of whatever little detail it might be. So I think, like Ian was saying,
I can say that I have had that feeling, of kind of just like general annoyance, that the challenges don't work, but I am enjoying the game still. Like the base game, the base game I am still enjoying. So yeah, I mean, it's nice to see them taking time and taking the care and putting the effort in, and they're like rehauling the whole system, which we love to see. But I'm still enjoying the game, even though I'm kind of frustrated with the challenges not working. Yet I am at least still enjoying the game. So there is that. And I hope you guys can too. I mean, that's at the end of the day, if even if there are issues, if you're still enjoying the game, and then you're willing to be patient with it. And so that's all I can say about this game is just be patient. They'll fix it. They'll get to it. It'll get better. Just give it some time. Stick with it. If it's fun, play it, and they'll fix it. They'll probably reimburse. Like I said in the beta, they gave us 1,500 tickets because the challenges weren't working. They gave you 1,500 free tickets. And also the challenges were still able to be completed. Like you could still do the challenges to get more tickets. So they pretty much just gave away, let you finish the battle pass for free.
Maybe a little bit less in the way of big, super flashy feature, but more things that are really going to hopefully improve the experience for those of you that are actively in it and maybe worked even turned off because of those little things here and there. So yeah, definitely keep that feedback coming. Really need it all.
Yes,
100%.
Constructive feedback. Don't just complain.
One thing to just mention with daily
feedback.
and weekly challenges too, we don't have anything super concrete to share on this aspect of it quite yet, but there still is time to complete these. So you're not on a super short clock. These passes are available all the way through to the end of the season, and regardless of what timing looks like for when we have a full rewrite of that system to really make sure it's working 100%, we're going to make sure we do right by you guys. So if you have these purchased and you're worrying about, am I going to be able to complete these in time? I don't have, a million hours to play or not experience otherwise. We're still thinking about what's the best solution for that, but whether that's just a daily login bonus or just bonus, tokens in general.
Yes, this is true. And a lot of the challenges you'll get in a reasonable amount of time by just playing the game. I think in general, best practice with this kind of thing is just give players a set amount of tickets. Just say, hey, our bad, we messed up. Here's some free tickets for you. I think that's just best practice. In my opinion, is just to give players free tickets. I think that's the best way to handle it, in my opinion. But we'll see what they do. I'm sure that they'll have a reasonable answer. Maybe make things a little bit easier. Double. Make it 10 times XP. I don't know. But in my opinion, I think it's just give players the tickets back.
Whatever that system ends up being, don't let that be a blocker for you. Don't let that ruin your experience with that. So we're still really paying attention to that. We care about you guys making sure you can.
And again, even without the challenges, you still have the camo grind. So kind of doubling down on that, what he's saying is don't let that ruin the experience. You still have things to grind for, even though the challenges aren't working. There are still things for you to do. There are still things for you to progress toward within the game as it is. So just keep playing it. Work on your mastery camos, work on ranking up. And just know in the back of their mind they're working on challenges. They're gonna fix challenges.
100%. Yeah, I mean, our intention is for everybody to be able to finish the battle passes, right? That is the goal right now. So step one, fix the systems, fix the bugs, get it in a good state. Step two, figure out, okay, well, now what are we going to do about it? Because there's been setbacks, right? And so there's a number of knobs we can dial. Like Ben said, maybe it's double XP or double tokens, or just here's a bunch of free tokens, right? There's a bunch of things we can do.
I'm on the side of free tokens.
Things in real time, and but we are committed to absolutely doing right by you guys and making sure that you have that time.
Cool. I think that's most of what we had for this week. I mean, we could go into nitty gritty about a million little bugs here or there, but I think the main point is that these are some of the big ones. These are our main focuses in general as far as direction. Nick, anything else that comes to mind for you for things that we're paying attention to or immediate priorities?
No, I mean, only thing I'll say is, we want to make the best game possible with you guys. We want your feedback. I am equally as frustrated. I play the game all the time. I'm running into these issues. I hate seeing them probably more than you guys are. So the big thing is, have patience, work with us. It's going to be an iterative process. We put out ranked. It's not going to be perfect, even if we had more time. It will never be perfect. It will never be to everyone's liking. We're going to work. We're going to make this game amazing together. So just please keep your feedback constructive and give us specific points. And we read everything, and we're committed to making the best game possible because we love it, and we want you guys to love it too.
Yeah, they are committed. I mean, they are listening as well. I mean, they're everywhere. I mean, in their Discord chat, in their Twitter replies, in the YouTube community, not just Splitgate themselves, but the devs as well, so like not just, Ben up here, the community manager, but the other devs as well as Ian and Nick, right? They're everywhere. They're, watching videos, they're, watching streams, they're scrolling their Twitter, they're in the Discord, they're scrolling the Reddit, they're everywhere. So if you have constructive criticism, definitely give it to them, because they'll see it, someone will see it and someone will bring it up to them and work to get a fix for it, or they will address it, a lot more than a lot of game studios do nowadays. So we can definitely appreciate them for that.
Yeah, and I'll just say, Splitgate 1 took us 2 years to really break through, right? And hopefully we will move a lot faster this time. We got a much larger team with more experience. And obviously we've learned a lot, but like we're not going away anytime soon, right? Like Splitgate 1, literally, like we launched that thing in May of 2019, and it's like history repeats itself, right? We had all sorts of issues, but we just went heads down. We love this game, we love this community. Like we are going to absolutely grind and grind and grind until it is as amazing as possible. So keep the feedback coming, keep it specific. We're not going away anytime soon, and it's only going to get better. So we're excited and we're feeling good.
Awesome. I think that's all.
That's probably about as good as a response as you're going to get to people chanting dead game everywhere. Is that, this has happened before. Splitgate 1 got off to a bit of a slow start, and then it exploded after a couple years. So they're kind of the same situation here, where kind of coming off to a slow start, but they're working on a lot of issues that need to be worked on, and they're going to keep building the game and keep making it to be where they want it to be, and it'll be fine. So that's probably about a good answer you're going to get to the the player count numbers situation,
All we have
without like directly addressing it by its name.
for this week. Nick, any final closing words?
Any words of wisdom?
You on the spot.
My current motto right now is, if it were easy, everyone would do it. So we are as determined as ever to deliver a great game for you guys, and my butt off for you. And yeah, and the whole team is really working their butts off. So
Awesome. Well, I'll let you both get back to it. Thank you for your time. I will catch you guys next week.
So that was it. That was their Splitgate Weekly number 2. They talked about a lot of stuff, a lot of what they're working on with ranked. So looks like they are working on a fix for the matchmaking issue, which is definitely good, definitely positive. We love to see that. They're obviously working on balance changes. They know Nebraska is an issue, specifically in ranked, so they're looking at a potential fix for that, as well as a number of other balance changes to weapons. Like specifically said, the Rattler is way too strong. Like specifically said, way too strong. Not just said the Rattler is stronger than they want it to be. They said it is way too strong, matter of factly. They talked about the challenges issue being a big issue within the company and kind of a top priority for them right now. That's something that they are building from the ground up. And they also discussed a little bit about just moving forward with the game and how they're going to take it slow. Yeah, overall, I mean, it looks like they're putting in work. They care about the game. Obviously, they want it to succeed, and they're taking time, putting in the effort to fix it. So W update from the devs. Love that they do this. Obviously, give them feedback, give them valid feedback, valid criticism, and don't just complain about the game. Don't just say oh, player counts, or rank sucks, or the Rattler's too I mean, maybe say that. Maybe say Rattler's too strong. But don't just say like, oh, the game sucks. Oh, queues are taking too long. Like give them more information so that they can actually fix the issues that we're having. And then they'll be able to build on it. They'll be able to work through it and make a great game. I think this title right here is a great title based on what they talk about. Their main focus right now is on just, fixing the foundations and making sure that, before they add anything else major to the game, that they have a solid foundation built, and that all of the little things that are really frustrating are working smoothly and are working well, and then they'll start to add more major content, which is good. Overall positive. I leave this video with a good feeling about Splitgate, which I hope is a theme for weeks to come.